Okay, if you're not in Britain, you probably won't know about this, but the hot story of the day in this country is the fact that the BBC have had to release their list of best paid stars, as in the presenters and whatnot that they have on their payrolls, have been released to the public because the BBC is publicly funded, and people have got their fucking panties in a bunch, and I just don't care about this at all, and I can't see why anyone does. So, I mean, I'm not a fan of Chris Evans and I don't even know who that Claudia Winkleman. I don't watch television, so I only know who Chris Evans is because he used to present TV shows like Don't Forget Your Toothbrush when I was a teenager, and I used to watch them when I was a kid. So that's how I know who Chris Evans is. I don't know who she is, but I'm sure she's very good as she's one of the top paid stars. But let me guess, she's not paid quite as much, possibly because she's not as famous. But hey, who fucking knows how these things work? Probably just misogyny. So the BBC's best paid stars are really fucking famous. Chris Evans on 2 million, Gary Lineker on almost 2 million, Graham Norton on almost 1 million, Jeremy Vine, John Humphreys, Hugh Edwards, Steve Wright, Matt Baker, Claudia Winkleman. I don't know who most of these people are, which is fine with me. I've got no interest in knowing who they are either. I don't know. Nicky Campbell, Alex Jones, probably not the same one. Andrew Marr, I actually know who he is. Alan Shearer, I believe, is a footballer. Don't know who Stephen Nolan is. Don't know who Matt Baker is. I mean, these are such generic names. I wouldn't know who these people are. But yeah, this is something that everyone gives a shit about all of a sudden. And it's just like, why? Is it because it's a reasonable amount of money? I don't see a problem with the BBC paying people a reasonable amount of money. It's their budget. They can do what they want with it. You know, if that's how much they want to pay people, that's how much they pay people. I don't care. I don't see why anyone else cares. It just seems to be politics of envy going on. Oh my god, look at that. Chris Evans making £2 million a year. Okay, they're not just giving it to him. He's a comedian. He's a presenter. People like listening to him. That takes work. And I know because I do it. You know, it's not like there isn't anything to all of this. So, okay. So fucking what if he does? But you know why. You know exactly why. Because the first thing people do is go, right, okay, tell me about their junk. Oh, Chris Evans has a penis. Gary Lineker has a penis. But lots of these people have penises until you get to Claudia Winkleman, and she's only making $500,000 a year, and she doesn't have a penis. You know what this is, don't you? That's right. Sexism. Apparently she hosts things like Strictly Come Dancing, which I would never watch. And is the best paid woman presenter earning only $500,000, with Tess Daly, her co-host, earning $350,000 to $399,000. Okay, is there sexism involved here, or is this just different people at different stages of their careers? Which is what it looks like to me, but I mean, hey, I don't know. But I mean, nobody's actually making allegations of sexism as far as I can see. People are just pissed off that the women are earning less than the men. I'm looking for people saying that this is sexism, but I'm not seeing it. It just seems to be the assumption that someone's going to start going off about sexism. Oh, what do you know? It was The Independent that was going on about it. BBC salaries. Gender pay chasm revealed. With top male Chris Evans at top male. Just, okay, whatever. Getting 4 times as much as top female Claudia Winkleman. And it's all to do with their junk. Immediately after the salaries were revealed, Mr. Hall was asked whether he felt shame over the gender pay gap, which he was worried that female stars might start making sex discrimination claims against the corporation. Why should he? Prove that there was sexual discrimination involved. So the BBC's newly published annual report shows that 7 stars were paid more than £500,000 a year, earning more than the Director General Tony Hall, and all of them were male. Dun dun dun. Immediately after the salaries were revealed, Mr. Hall was asked whether he felt shame over the gender pay gap. There is no gender pay gap. There is an earnings gap. These people are earning more than the other people. Not all of them are male, not all of them are female, who are earning various amounts. It's all different because people are different. It's a talent-based industry. Oh, fucking don't worry about it, you idiots. But whether he was worried that female stars might be making sex discrimination claims against the corporation, go on, prove it. Prove that there's sexism going on there. Prove it. I mean, no one's... This is what I mean. It's just assumed that something's probably going to be done. It's like, okay, but... What's happened? Who's... You know, where is the proof? I mean, where are even the allegations? You know? But look at this. Expecting allegations of sexism. The BBC has already said it wants to address a gender imbalance that it saw women making up only a third of those in the organisation's high-earning 150 grand a year plus pay bracket. This is how endemic it is. They just, oh God, they're going to be like, this is sexist, and we're going to be like, is it sexist? No. This is just the way things have worked out. I mean, unless anyone has... I mean, like I said, they don't even have a single allegation yet, and they're already talking about potential allegations of sexism, even though there aren't any allegations or any proof of sexism. In fact, let's have a listen to what Tony Hall has to say, because he's probably fucking contrite.
I think we've made a lot of progress, but it's nowhere near where I wanted to be, because by 2020 I want to get to the point when it is equal between men and women on our radio channels, on our television programs as well.
What is he, a fucking communist? Why would it be equal? Why would it be the same? Why? Why should it be? Why should anything be the same? Especially at the very top echelons of the BBC's pay bracket for its fucking presenters. Why would that be the same? I mean, why is that even something you want to achieve? We're talking about people who are earning six-figure salaries, if not more, and you're worried about the fact that some are earning slightly more than others, or whatever. No allegations, no proof, no evidence, no nothing. You're just looking at the numbers and going, shit, we're in trouble. That's how much of a fucking stranglehold these feminist harpies have on our civilization. You understand that, right? The fact that... look at his fucking face. He looks terrified. There's nothing he can do about this. What's he going to do? What's he going to do? Just start lowering the men's salaries? Why? Well, because women are getting paid less and men are getting paid more, and therefore we're going to have to reduce it because you're a man. Is he going to do that? No, of course he's fucking not. That would be illegal, as Jessica Valenti found. No, but seriously though, what the fuck is this guy supposed to do?
I think we've made some progress.
Progress towards what? Towards making sure that some people are cut down because others aren't as capable, or as willing to work, or whatever it is. Whatever the reason. Is that what you're doing, is it?
And I think over the last 3-4 years, or last 3 years anyway, 60% of the new hires we've done for all promotions we've done have been women. That's good. You see that on...
See, now you're giving them special treatment on the basis that they're women. Christ, we better actually hire more women than men. Well, that's not equality, is it? Why aren't you hiring exactly the same number as women, of women and men? You're not even doing your job right. Now you're overcompensating. And again, it's because you look like you're being terrorised.
On the 10 o'clock news, you feel that on the Today programme, which now...
Oh, please, please, please validate me. I'm just desperately trying to validate myself. There is no winning with these people. They will never give you the desired end goal, because if they do and you achieve it, they have literally nothing to hold over your head.
Can be sometimes just presented by women. You see it on Strictly, or indeed on the new Doctor Who. But I think we...
And that's why there is a schism in the Doctor Who community. Because everyone can tell this has been done ideologically. Not for any particular reason, not to make the story good, not because the franchise is good because of it. No, it's being done because everyone's afraid of feminists calling them names on the internet. That's why. Shocking amount of power for a bunch of whining man-haters.
We've got much more to do there, and I am determined to get it right. When I first came back...
How are you going to do this? You have no method for which to do this. Unless you are literally going to start docking men's pay, in which case you're going to get sued, aren't you?
To the BBC, I wanted to get another woman to present the Today programme. We did it. It took a couple of months.
Brilliant. You hired a woman. Incredible. Give this man an award. Again, listen to what he's saying. It's so petty. We hired a woman for that, blah, blah, blah. I don't give a shit. Did you hire someone competent? I don't care if they're a transsexual lesbian midget, as long as they're good at what they're doing.
I wanted to get our local radio stations, who at that point, 14% of their breakfast shows were presented by women, the rest were done by men. I said I want to get to half and half in 2 years.
Why? Who was complaining? I mean, you had listeners, they were obviously watching and listening even, and they were obviously enjoying it. What's the problem? This is all ideological. There's no demand for this. It's not like the consumers are pissed off. And if there was, you would see much higher listening rates on the female programs, the ones presented by women, or, you know, mostly by women. You would see huge numbers on them, and people wouldn't be going to the men. on their shows. If that was something that the general public actually gave a shit about. But the thing is, the general public are not actually a bunch of sexists. And so they don't care whether it's a man or a woman. They care that it's someone talented. If that's not too much to ask, BBC.
And we got there as well. I'm a great believer in action behind the principles you stand for. So that's the thing I really want to achieve in the next 2-3 years.
But there are people...
He's never going to do it. He's literally never going to do it. There's no mechanism for him to achieve what he wants to do. So I don't even know what he thinks he can do.
who will look at this list and they'll say, actually, you might have made progress in your time as Director General, but the evidence is emphatically clear. Only a third of the people on the list are female.
Okay. Only a third of the people on that list are female. Yeah, and do you know what we say to those people? Deal with it. That's okay. It's your ideological desire to get half of them to be women, not for any kind of practical necessity. And if it's, I mean, you know, what I'm only listening to you because why? You know, why aren't I listening to the neo-Nazis? Why aren't I listening to the communists? Or why aren't I listening to the Islamists? You know, well, 0% of these people are jihadis, so why can't you have a jihadi presenter? And you think, oh God, I don't know. And, you know, they represent like, I don't know, 1% of the population, so maybe we should.
The top paid stars are dominated very much by men, and
Obviously not 1%, you know what I mean.
although individual circumstances vary and you have to look at rotoring and all that,
Oh, no, fuck the individual circumstances, because the problem with that is that probably explain why things are as they are. If we explain how things came to be, then it's really difficult to cry sexism or bigotry or institutional oppression, because it might turn out not to be those things. So instead, I mean, look at his face. He looks like he just hates his job, doesn't he?
sort of thing, there are several shows where men and women seem to do similar jobs and the men are paid much, much more. Isn't there actually quite a clear signal here, which is that for all the talk about gender equality, the BBC is way behind where it should be in 2017?
The men and women are different. But don't worry, don't let that stop you. Don't worry about the fact that, again, if we look at the individual situations that you are talking about, you'll find the man, I don't know, he's probably like 10 years older and has been doing 10 years longer, or something like that. But hey, why would that matter? Why would that matter? Just get some woman in, she's got 10 years less experience, but you may as well give her the same wage as a man with 10 years more experience. Why? Because she's got a cunt. She has a vagina. Don't you understand how important it is that the vaginas get exactly what they don't deserve, whereas men barely get what they do deserve? And I'm sorry to put it in such crass terms, but that's literally all they're fucking saying. I mean, they're not giving any reason. They're not saying, well, these are women who are undervalued for the work they do. They're not being properly compensated for the work they do. I mean, they've got tons of experience, but they don't have as much as this other guy, whatever the situation is. They're not making an argument. They're just saying, but vagina.
We're making big strides, but I just want to stress, I'm not complacent. We have a lot to do, and I want us to be an exemplar, not just to media companies, but to the whole of the UK about how to handle us. But if you
Yeah, you know what, I think you can all get in the fucking helicopter, to be honest, all of you. I don't see the need for any of this. I don't see any justification for this witch hunt. But, okay, let's just hear him finish.
look at the gender pay gap, which...
Fuck off. Fucking... Fuck off. I mean, there are even, you know, it's pointless publishing top earners' pay, as it's embarrassing. And it is. There's no... And yeah, it is being used to demonise the BBC. There's nothing is coming of this that's of any good. And I don't like defending the BBC. I'm sure people who watch my channel regularly know how I feel about the BBC, but this isn't anything significant. This is significant only to feminists and to people who are jealous of people who make money. Unless someone can give me a compelling reason why I should give a shit about this, I just don't.